Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to another reading. Today, Saturn and Uranus are going to square each other, and it would be a very different kind of energy. I'm going to give you a brief astrological background. I'm not going to do the astrological analysis of it, just give you some archetypal energies of Saturn and Uranus, and then I'm going to ask Oracle to give us what would be the impact of this in next several weeks. So this year there has to be three square between Saturn and Uranus, because planets tend to move forward and backward, so they tend to meet each other at different angles. Square is usually 90-degree angle, and they tend to meet each other a couple of times, sometimes three times. So it will happen three times. First time it was in February, and now today on 14th of July today, and sometime on 24th of December we'll have this again. So what I see here is that the archetypal energy is quite dominant. So Saturn on one hand is full of structures, restrictions, judgment of karma, and giving you opportunities under closed loops to resolve that karma and move on to a better life. On the other hand, Uranus is more of a kind of energy which is full of freedom, uh, less judgment or absolutely no judgment, and allows you to experiment, sometimes in a very good way, sometimes in a very detrimental way. Detrimental way in the sense you can experiment, but that experiment will create loss or create some kind of pain for others in that way. But then Uranus wants to see what happens. It's a curious energy, which what happens if I do this, and sometimes doing something very strange will be very prosperous thing, and sometimes it would be very painful thing. So on the other hand, Saturn is quite judgmental, that if I do this, will I bring prosperous energy or will I bring some kind of detrimental energy? If it's a detrimental energy, Saturn will put you in a very closed structure that you won't be able to manifest that strange experiment which is of detrimental result. So somewhere like that. So Saturn and Uranus, when they are squaring each other, they are creating tension. On one hand, people want freedom, and one hand there's a lot of restriction. And in February, everyone was under lockdown. There was a very strong energy from the Saturn time side, what one can observe, and it put a lot of structures, and there was a strong lockdown and less of freedom for people to move out and experiment how much they can relate with their freedom under this situation. And some countries actually delayed bringing those lockdowns, and they had major issues, especially if you know from which country I come from. There was a delay in implementing lockdown, and there were major issues with shortages of medical facility and all. So these were few things that happened, and now again we are coming to another square between Saturn and Uranus. And what this time around we see that first time Saturn had to win. Second time, what most of the popular belief of the astrologers is, and I'm not going to give my personal opinion because I really don't have a very strong understanding of Uranus, because it is a very recent phenomena in the astrological circuit. Uranus was not there in a lot of literature, although they have mentioned it in Vedic or Hindu astrology or the sidereal astrology, that there are planets which have influence, but they don't have influence on day-to-day life of human, but they have influence at the collective level. So that's the mention that, and they have left there. So I don't have much understanding, so I'm not going to deeply analyze Uranus and Saturn. But there's a popular belief that this time around both the energies would be very neutral. So there would be some structural lockdowns, but then there would be some structural freedom also. So they'll try to balance out, and the next lockdown, or so not the lockdown, the next square in December, Uranus will be dominant and there would be more freedom. So I guess you understood what I'm trying to say. Sorry for such a long introduction. I thought it is very important to explain the archetypal energy. And now I'm asking the cards to give us hints about what will happen in next couple of weeks or next several weeks because of this square in the sky. So I need 9 cards for this reading. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we won't see the bottom of the deck or something like that, because that was not the intention. So the now, Creator Earth, choose who you are becoming. That's a very strong message. You are the muse, or you the muse. The distraction of the shiny things right here in the center of the square. Actually, my intention is to create a square, a grid, and then overthinking can spoil magic. Manifesting and doing. Soul on fire, and feed your artist. So, right at the center we have the distraction of the shiny things, which is telling me very loudly that there was a whole era of marketing in last 30-40 years which constantly created a need in our psychology of buying new things to feel satisfied. That kind of era is going to now move away. There was a purpose of that era, that whole thing, and the purpose is already over long back, and now we are just carrying the burden of that habit. Now slowly and steadily we are moving away from that habit. That's what it's saying. And then the very first card, the now, is saying that now you are realizing that you are the artist. You can create anything that you want in your life. You just don't need a lot of resources. You just need your imagination, and through your imagination you can do a lot of things. Actually, in the past you already knew that you are the muse, and if you find 5 ingredients, you can create a very good recipe out of it. And with the same 5 ingredients, someone in your neighborhood can create a disaster, and another person with the same 5 ingredients can create even better tasting recipe or a dish out of the same ingredients compared to you. So it's you who has the power, it's not the ingredients. That's what that knowledge was quite common in the past. But then the era of capitalism, where they started generating idiots in universities, trained idiots in universities and colleges, that's what I would say, or donkeys. Sorry for using such harsh language, but then if you do some kind of reflection, they actually trained us to be slaves. corporate slaves, right? So that's what it was, and that's what we are doing right now. Sometimes I hate my job at what I'm doing, but then slowly and steadily I'll see that I have to migrate from that whole thing, and possibly there would be some liberation coming out. But then what they're saying is that to manifest something, you constantly have to keep doing something. You really cannot just imagine and things will just pop out of thin air in front of you. That was possible. It was ages ago, generations, maybe 100, 200 generations ago, when our energies were quite high. That happened. But right now, where we stand, we need to keep doing things to manifest it, especially for next 20 years, as I understand that things will keep changing for good, and we will have to keep manifesting good things by making small changes in our day-to-day life. What I'm seeing here is that soul on fire and earth, creator earth energy. Earth and fire energy are quite dominant here. So passions are quite high, and materialism is, on the other hand, is on it's changing. The metaphor of materialism is changing now. Materialism would be how much greenery you have around you, what is the positive green impact of you in your life, or where do you live, how much green belt is there around you, and how much you contribute in developing that green belt. These metaphors will find new meanings, and you will start working in a different direction, but not immediately. This is a slow and gradual change in next 20 years, and it will come in a very painful way, because there would be bigger energies trying to stop you from doing that. That's what I'm seeing here. But then what they're saying here is that choose who you are becoming. On a very subtle level, what I would say is that you need to decide who you are becoming and what you want to do, and make micro changes in your life every day, because you cannot just change yourself overnight, or the system will not allow you, the matrix will not allow you. They are both white and dark energies, and both of them are working in harmony right now to bring that change. And if you just want to push darkness away, it won't happen. Darkness has to be there, will be there. It was there in the past, it will be there in future. It's here in right now with us. So you can change gradually and slowly move towards the light. The darkness would not stop you from that. But then if you try to eliminate darkness and just want to create white positive energy everywhere, that won't happen. So choose who you are becoming with consciousness. Don't overthink, and don't try to do a magic that you are not supposed to do. You are supposed to just find peace with yourself and try to find a solution for yourself and to your surrounding, your immediate surrounding. Beyond that, you are not responsible. So don't try to do a magic that you are not supposed to do. And remember that you are the artist, you are the muse, you can create whatever you want. A neighbor who was making a terrible dish out of those five ingredients will learn to reach to your level in some years, and you on the other hand will learn to reach to another level where your another neighbor was making better dishes out of those five ingredients, and that another neighbor will try to ascend and to become little more aware of where the solutions are. It is a growth phase for everyone. Wherever you are right now, you just need to work on yourself. So, putting all this together with Saturn and Uranus square. So, Uranus is now bringing that freedom that you can bring micro changes in your life, but the Saturn is restricting that. Yes, bring that magic on a small scale where it belongs in your life. You don't have to do a large scale magic to spoil everything, because the large scale things are taken care by larger energies in the universe. And so Saturn is putting that restriction there, because you'll see a lot of people talk about doing yoga, turning into veganism or vegetarianism, or talk about yogic or Hindu traditions or some other traditions, spirituality, and all those things. How many of them really understand the basic foundation? Trust me, 10 years back, my basic foundation was very bad. I have evolved because I just worked on myself, and I did a lot of tarot readings because there were certain kind of energies in my birth chart which gave me this allowed me to manifest this energy in this form. But trust me, when I try to do a lot of astrological readings on day-to-day level, I feel so drained that I have to take long breaks, and then I stop. That okay, it's good to know about astrology. I'm talking just about myself and relating to this card. For me, it's good to know about astrology and help people now and then with my astrological knowledge, the way I made that video yesterday. Because somebody asked me about a certain nakshatra, and then they associated few things with that nakshatra, and I knew few other things. Connected the dots and tried to help that person. That was fine. I can also do full readings, paid and unpaid readings for my clients on astrological level. That is also fine. But then if I try to do it every day, I feel drained. I can do 10 readings with tarot card every day and I don't feel drained. I still feel energetic. I feel even more thoughtful and even more relaxed. But that's my limitation, and you need to find your limitation, because if you cross that limitation, Saturn will be here to show you that you are crossing your boundary. But then within your limitation, if you are not using your energies or your freedom to the fullest, like I can use any set of oracle cards or tarot cards to bring out the intuitive messages. I may not have to read everything from the guidebook. That's where the Uranus is coming here, giving me my freedom. So that's the whole analogy part here. I hope it helped you to understand the whole message. This is becoming a very long reading now, long videos. I'll stop here. Please give me your feedback if you survived to watch the whole video. I know a lot of people don't even reach like they stop the reading of the video after 5 minutes, because YouTube gives you analysis of every video, and most of the videos people watch for 5-6 minutes on an average. So some people actually stop it after the very first minute, and some people stop it after 10-12 minutes. So on an average it is like 5 or 6 minutes. So yeah, if you are the one who is actually helping me to improve the average, you have survived to watch till this point. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Namaste.